Mr. Trevino, you are here to tell the court about your association with the late Mr. Frank Vincenzo and to testify to what he told you before he died.
That's right.
Mr. Vincenzo knew he was dying when he took you into his confidence, correct?
Yeah, he got diagnosed with terminal cancer. Only had a few months left. Guess he needed to get some stuff off his chest.
Right, let's talk about him.
Can you tell the court what you knew about Frank Vincenzo Jr.?
Well, he was a guy from the building, an older guy. My dad warned me never to cross him. I got the idea he was connected. So when we started talking, he told me what he did.
And what was that?
He was a hitman, Mr. Cutter.
And his weapon of choice?
Shotgun.
No. Pronounced of a known use for length of piano wire. Suggested height 9mm. Excellent work.
You sure?
No, you're right, Mr. Cutter. It was a 9mm.
He gave you one of those weapons, didn't he?
That's correct.
And the weapon he gave you to help your father shoot Alexander Baran was the same weapon used to shoot Harrison Bedford in 1998.
Right. Time of murder.
Did Mr. Vincenzo describe the crime to you?
Yeah, he told me how it happened. He tracked the kids through the park.
And what year was this?
1998.
Yeah, I think so.
The year of the Central Park murder. And what time of day?
It was a weekend. Lunchtime, I think.
I don't know. I'm just gonna say yes. Ah!
Really?
No,
Really?
hang on. I remember now. It was late afternoon, around dark. Yeah.
You're not very good witness if he's going to keep changing his mind every time you go and take a second guess.
Did Mr. Vincenzo describe any specifics of the crime? Anything to help authenticate his testimony?
Well, he shot the boy first, 2 times. The first hit him in the stomach, and then the second round went right through his heart. He said he made the girl lie down, face down, and then he shot her in the head, sort of from the side. He was real surprised she survived.
It's consistent, but she's always says she never saw anything. But he was shot in the abdomen, so they were being right. So she did see the killer then. The widow mentioned it during her interview. Fontana told Curtis in the precinct. Bankroll told Curtis and Benson at the cafe. And Curtis told Benson at the hot dog stand. Ah! That one. Oh! No, I've only got one more.
Allison Conway shot in the head while lying prone on the ground. Crime scene analysts confirmed this. And, most important, it was a detail the police kept out of the press. Only a witness could have known. Now, Mr. Trevino, the $64,000 question. Who hired Frank Vincenzo Jr. to kill Harrison Bedford?
Aha!
Actually, you got your facts wrong, Mr. Cutter.
What?
Frankie told me he got hired to kill the girl, not the boyfriend.
So what happened?
The guy attacked Frankie, there was a fight, and both kids ended up shot.
And who hired him?
He told me it was Giles Bedford.
No, it's not true.
Thank you, Mr. Trevino.
Now why
Yeah,
doesn't she believe
Like
it?
I said, it went all wrong.
Why doesn't she believe it?
Mr. Trevino, let's start with something easy. Please state your current address.
Oh, for
My
goodness
address? You
sake.
kidding me?
Go on.
I'm at Altona Correctional Facility.
So, you're in jail.
Yes.
Yeah.
Convicted of a felony?
Yes.
Duh.
Objection! Defense is improperly introducing the witness's criminal history to impeach his credibility.
Under
Yeah,
FRE
I'll say.
609A, it's allowed, Your Honor.
He's got you there, Mr. Cutter. Please, continue.
Did you take a deal in exchange for your testimony?
Yes.
I imagine the deal got sweeter the more you had to say about my client.
Yes.
Objection!
Speculation, relevance. It would be relevant. Speculation.
Speculation.
Overruled.
Isn't it true that in almost any other trial, this testimony would be considered hearsay and therefore completely inadmissible?
Objection.
Objection.
No expert knowledge.
Mr. Trevino is not a lawyer. He isn't expected to know that, nor is it relevant.
I agree. Move on, Mr. Vance. Sustained.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, let me categorize Mr.
What?
Trevino's testimony for you.
Stop it.
It is a story told by a convicted
Stop
felon
it.
in
Was this your
exchange for
closing
reduced
argument
punishment.
already?
Even if it's true, these are the words of a dying assassin, a man with no morals whatsoever. Why would any reasonable person ever
Right.
rate this against the
Right.
innocence of a man who has
you
been a
finished
pillar
your
of New York
side?
society for his entire life?
Yes, please. He's
Objection.
summing up already. No expert knowledge, argumentative. I think he just wants to punch his face in.
Your Honor, Mr. Vance is arguing his case, not questioning the witness.
Sustained. Cut it out, counselor.
I have no further questions for this witness.
Huh. Right. The jury is on the fence. Oh no. End of
The
prosecution
people rest their
phase.
case, Your Honor.
Very well. And Mr. Vance?
Motion to dismiss the charges against my client.
What?
The people have failed to adequately meet the burden of proof. The state must prove the critical facts of the case to the appropriate level of certainty. They have not done so.
I don't know. I heard some pretty good juice, Mr. Vance. I'm denying your motion. Call your witnesses.
We call Allison Conway to the stand.
Well, she's been standing at the back all this
Miss
time.
Conway, can you describe your relationship with the defendant?
Yes, Giles, Mr. Bedford is the grandfather to my child. His son Harrison and I were involved in high school. And now, of course, he is the CEO of the corporation I work for.
How many years have you known him?
Since 1998.
In that time, have you ever seen him act violent or unpredictable? Miss Conway?
No. No, I never have.
Many people have said Mr. Bedford disapproved of your relationship, thought you were from the wrong side of the tracks. But this is rumor that's been blown out of proportion, correct?
You're leading a little bit.
Objection,
Just a
Your
little bit
Honor.
leading.
Leading.
Sustained.
Can you describe how Mr. Bedford acted towards you and the baby after the murder?
He was nice. The whole family welcomed me and my son. He paid for my medical bills, and schooling. He paid for everything. He got me this job, told me I should work for him.
Miss Conway, is something wrong?
No, I'm fine.
So you think Mr. Bedford felt kindly toward you, maybe even like the daughter he never had?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance.
Overruled.
And in your
Damn
opinion, did Mr. Bedford treat you like someone he was ashamed of or did not like?
No. No, quite the opposite. More like he owed me something.
No further questions. Thank you, Miss Conway.
Miss Carmichael, your witness.
Miss Conway has given multiple depositions regarding the facts of this case, and we have no further need to question her.
Whoa. With this testimony, the jury sides with the defense. No.
Dr. Markovich, how long have you been treating Giles Bedford?
I've been the family doctor for over 13 years.
And in that time, did you treat him with Banaxylene?
Yes, I did. Mr. Bedford works in a very high-stress financial situation, and he wanted medication that would help him relax and be more effective.
Did you ever observe any side effects?
No, I did not, nor did he report any.
Have any of your patients or any patients you've heard of ever reported side effects while on Banaxylene?
He wouldn't know any
Objection.
patients anywhere.
Speculation.
Overruled.
In the 13 years
Damn
you have
it.
treated Mr. Bedford, have you ever seen him display aggressive or violent tendencies to anyone in his immediate family on medication or off it?
No, sir. No, I have not.
Ah, no. Oh, siding with the defense.
Good afternoon, Doctor. I just have a few questions for you today. A few things to clear up.
Right. Monitoring.
How often did you check in on Giles Bedford?
180
Every
days.
180 days.
Yes.
So how can you say that you did or did not see any side effects? That's a half year of not seeing your patient. Anything could happen in that time.
Side effects.
Read this disclaimer, please. It's the drug warning for Banaxolene.
This drug may make you dizzy or drowsy or cause blurred vision. Avoid alcoholic beverages. Older adults may be more sensitive to the side effects of this drug, especially loss of coordination and drowsiness. Banaxolene may cause symptoms including mental mood changes, sleep disturbance, increase in aggression, feelings of paranoia, or hallucinations.
Increase in aggression. You know that when you were treating Mr. Bedford?
I never knew Banaxolene had any side effects until I was called
What?
to testify for this trial.
No, liar. Is that true? No. He told detectives it could be fatal. It's nasty side effects. That's what he said. Excellent.
You told detectives that you knew Banaxolene had, quote, some nasty side effects.
I did? Well, if they say so.
One final thing, Doctor. When detectives originally talked to you in Mr. Bedford's hospital room, you told them something very interesting.
I did?
Aha.
Oh, yes. Do you remember what it was?
No.
I'll remind you. You told them when, exactly, Mr. Bedford discovered Allison Conway was pregnant. When you told him secretly.
Oh.
Remember when you said that was? Relative to the date of the murder?
Sometime after.
Sometime after what?
No. You told Giles Bedford that Allison was pregnant before the murder. Before. He knew about the secret pregnancy because you told him. And he was angry. You said so yourself.
Yes. Furious.
So furious, in fact, that he contacted Frank Vincenzo Jr. and arranged to have her shot dead. In cold blood.
Oh my God.
Objection, Your Honor.
Withdrawn. No further questions.
Sides with the prosecution. Getting there.
Allison? What are you doing here?
I want to talk.
As long as the trial is still underway, I'm afraid there's not much I can say to you.
Fine, so I'll do the talking. There's something I've tried very hard to push down, to forget. But it's coming back. Mr. Bedford always told me the baby was a surprise to him. He never, ever mentioned he knew about it beforehand. So when you said the name, it didn't click before.
What name?
Frank Vincenzo Jr. Can you show me a picture of him? Thank you.
Your Honor, the people call Allison Conway to the stand as a friendly witness.
Objection. What's going on here, Mike?
Both of you, approach.
Allison Conway recently had a breakthrough, and her memory is crucial to the people's case. We want to call her to testify.
I've had no warning of this.
She has additional evidence to present.
I'll move for a mistrial as soon as she leaves the stand.
And I will decide whether your motion has merit, counselor, but not a moment before. Now,
Aha.
take a deep breath and listen to what your witness has to say.
Yes.
You introduced her. Now you get to take your lumps, Mr. Vance. Mr. Cutter, your witness.
Right. Memory.
Miss Conway, can you tell us why you're here today?
After I was shot, my memory was spotty, but over the years, I've been able to put some pieces back together.
And you recently remembered something about the shooting.
I haven't thought about that day in years. I've tried not to. My life was perfect in some ways. There was no reason to remember. But this trial, it's all coming back.
The shooting.
Tell us about what you remember on the day of the shooting.
It was a school day. I went to Harrison's house in the afternoon, like I usually did, but he wasn't there. Mr. Bedford said he sent him on an errand and he wouldn't be back soon. Mr. Bedford knew we had a track meet coming up, so he suggested I take a run in the park while I waited. He would have his driver take me over there. I felt uncomfortable in the house, so I said fine and got changed. As I was about to leave, Harrison came back early. He asked where I was going, and when I told him, he said he wanted to come with me. He was scared about the pregnancy, but protective, too. Proud, even. So it was just the two of us out for a run. Harrison didn't even bother changing. I remember he had this funny Argyle sweater on.
I've got no idea, but just yes. Can be disputed if it wasn't. They were known as the preppy joggers. Yeah.
Anyway, we got in the car and Harrison noticed right away. The driver, he was new. Harrison asked him his name and he told us. I remember it because it was a funny coincidence. He had the same name as Harrison's brother, Frank. When Detective Curtis showed me the picture of Frank Vincenzo Jr., I knew what you had done. It wasn't enough you wanted the tramp from the wrong side of the tracks out of your son's life. You wanted me dead, and your unborn grandchild.
No. No.
Frank wasn't a driver. He was a hitman, hired to kill me. And he followed us into the park. But then Harrison fought back, protected me. And he ended up paying the ultimate price for your anger. When you realized what you had done, to assuage your dirty, rotten conscience, you took me in, paid my bills, bought my love and loyalty. You bastard!
Miss Conway!
Well, the truth is out, Giles. And now the whole world will know what you are. What you always were. Murderer.
Thank you, Allison.
Oh.
No further questions.
Oh well. Jury deliberations.
How long has the jury been out?
6 hours.
What do you
Wow.
think they'll come back with?
Lots of circumstantial evidence. Defense knocked us around pretty good.
Jury's hard to read. Can't tell how they'll go on this one.
Sure. But remember, all it takes is one.
One person to undo a decade of police work.
Lenny would be proud, Ray. I hope you know that.
Thanks, LT. Showtime.
Have you reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
And how do you find?
On the count of murder in the first degree, we find the defendant, Giles Bedford, guilty.
And on the count of attempted murder?
Guilty.
We thank you for your service. Defendant is remanded into custody until sentencing.
Well, Vance has already filed his appeal.
Of course. We saw that coming a mile away.
Doesn't matter. You won today, and that's what's important.
And tomorrow, do it all over again.
That's how it worked when I was ADA. But tonight, we celebrate. Dinner's on me.
Wow. Trinity Cemetery, Washington Heights.
Hey, Lenny. How you doing? Look, I came out here. I just wanted to tell you. We got him. After all these years, we got him. It was nice having one last chance to work with you on a case. Funny. It really doesn't seem like that long ago. But you blink your eyes and everything's different. People disappear, faces change. But, well, at least the city is still the same. Anyways, thanks. Couldn't have done it without you, old man.
Ah, good game. See you next time.